welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited for this Bible study. This is part 2 of Elijah Bible study, and for part 2 I will be focusing on the 19th chapter of the first book of Kings. Yes, in part 1 we ended with chapter 18 of the first book of Kings. So today I'm just continuing with chapter 19. So I'll start reading verse 1. Now Ahab told Jezebel everything Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. So Jezebel, verse 2, so Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah to say, "May the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like that of one of them." Verse 3, Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. When I read this chapter, the first thought that I had was that this man God has used greatly. Why is he afraid? Why is he afraid of Jezebel? Why is he afraid of the death threats from Jezebel? Why is he afraid of death? Yeah, that's the thoughts that came to me. This is the man who raised the dead. This is the man who killed 450 prophets of Baal. That's what we learned about in part 1 of this Bible study. This is the man who multiplied the oil and the flour of the widow. This is the man that God used to stop the rain for 3 years. Yeah, and now he was running away for his life. He was afraid of Jezebel. I will continue reading from verse 3. When he came to Beersheba in Judah, he left his servant there. Verse 4, while he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, he came to a broom bush, sat down under it and prayed that he might die. I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life. I am no better than my ancestors. Elijah was afraid. Elijah was suicidal. Elijah was tired. Elijah was tired, and I believe that he was tired of fighting. He was exhausted, and I could relate to this story because I have been in this situation before. I've been in the situation that Elijah was in before, the situation of exhaustion, the situation of just being tired of fighting, because you are just going through battle after battle after battle after battle. I've been in this situation before, so I could relate a lot to this story in chapter 19. I've never had thoughts of suicide before. I'm just clarifying that since my parents watch these videos, I won't want them to worry. Yeah, so Elijah was exhausted of fighting, and I believe that there is someone watching this video and they are tired. They are tired of fighting. Let's continue reading from verses 5 and 6. Verse 5, then he lay down under the bush and fell asleep. All at once an angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank and then lay down again. In verses 5 and 6, I want us to observe the character of God. I want us to observe the character of the Father. Many people have a wrong perception of God, and I'm about to show you the character of God. Please pay attention to what I am about to say. When we did part 1 of the Elijah Bible study, I said that the provision of God is connected to a location. God used to send Elijah to different locations, and in each location that God sent him, God provided. And now chapter 19, it is different. It is different because Elijah is running for his life. Elijah is in the desert, and God never told him to run to the desert. He never did. But what amazes me is that he is in a place that God never told him to be in, but still the angel of the Lord came to him and touched him and said, arise and eat. The angel of the Lord still provided food for him. So this shows me the character of God. This shows me the character of the Father. This shows me that God cares. God cares about your emotions. God cares about your fears. God cares about what is troubling you, your troubles, your issues. God cares about that. In today's time, we would call it mental health. God cares about your mental health, and that's the character of God that I want us to pay attention to. And religion will never tell you this. Religion will tell you that do well in order to be accepted by God. Do well in order to be loved by God. Yeah, that's what religion will teach you. And that's why some people withdraw from God. That's why some people, when they are afraid, they withdraw from God, because they just have a wrong perception of God. They don't think that God cares about their emotions, about their fear. Actually, some people think and feel that fear it's a sin. It's a sin to be afraid. Yeah, it's a sin to be weak. Yeah, and we see here God showing up to Elijah, and the Bible tells us that the angel of the Lord touched him. He touched him, he comforted him, and he said, arise, get up, eat. That's the character of the Father. God cares about you. God cares about your struggles, your emotions, your mental health. Yes. And I will be reading from verse 7 in New King James Version. And the angel of the Lord came back the second time and touched him and said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. I love what the angel of the Lord said to Elijah the second time when he came. He said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. The angel of the Lord was telling Elijah that, you know what, Elijah, suicide is not an option. You know what, Elijah, suicide is not a solution. The solution is for you to arise. Arise, for the journey is too great for you. And I want to encourage you today. If you are afraid, if you are stressed, I want to encourage you to arise. Arise, for the journey is too great for you. Arise, for God has a purpose for your life. Arise and just get back to the journey. Arise, for the journey is too great for you. Yeah, Elijah got up and traveled for 40 days and 40 nights. Chapter 19 ends with Elijah expressing his meeting God. He met God, and then God asked him a very interesting question. Elijah, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I never sent you here. What are you doing here? Location again. What are you doing here? And Elijah expressed his frustration to God. It's very interesting that The story, when the story ends, God told Elijah to go to another location to do certain things. God redirected his journey. Yeah, and I want to end this video, this short video, by saying that God cares. God cares about your mental health. And what I love is that when God came to Elijah and said, Elijah, what are you doing here? Elijah was very real with God. Elijah was very real with his emotions, and he was very real with his troubles. And it's interesting that God redirected him to another location. God was like, get back to purpose. God was like, get back to what I've called you to do. Get back, arise and get up. And I want to encourage you to arise and get up, for God cares about your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. Goodbye.